There's a healthy habit that you may be trying to participate in that may be wreaking havoc on your health. I'm going to give you a little bit of a teaser here in a moment. So give me a thumbs up, give me a heart if you're wanting to know what the healthy habit might be that may be wreaking havoc on your health. We're going to dig into this today. And this is something that, there's so much to be aware of, and there's so many, cautions and precautions and things like that. And so, my job when I come to you with the word on wellness, I just want to share some things with you, some things that I want you to be aware of. And so, on today, what I want to share with you is this one habit that may be wreaking havoc on your health. Just let me give you a little bit of a hint as to what I'm talking about. See this right here? This is your hint. Now, drinking water is one of the basic recommendations that we make for everyone. We talk about drinking, 64 ounces of water, something like that. I remember in one of the groups I was in, one of our participants, she had like 6 or 8 of these lined up on her counter. And she said, I make sure I get through all of these every day. So, in one sense, she was doing a good job because she was planning on getting in her water. But in another sense, she may have been wreaking havoc on her health in another way that she's not aware of. And I'm going to tell you what we're talking about today. And it's also going to link to your hormones and your hormone health and how you may be getting exposed to hormones without really knowing it. So, our wellness word of the day is xenoestrogens. Have you heard of the term xenoestrogens? Xenoestrogens are those things that mimic estrogen in the body. And actually, plastics can mimic estrogen in the body. They're called xenoestrogens. And I'm going to share with you all the different types of plastics, which ones are safer and which ones are not. I want you to be fully aware of this. If you've got any kind of plastic around you, I want you to right now look around the bottom. There's a little triangle. It's called the recycle code. And even on this bottle of water, hopefully I don't spill this on myself, there's a little tiny plastic, a little tiny number. I saw it earlier on the bottom of this, and it's the code. It tells me what kind of plastic this is and whether it's harmful or not. And so it's right on actually, it's on the side. So you probably won't be able to see that. Oh, yeah, you can. So right there, there's a little triangle right there with a number in the middle of it. And that tells you what type of plastic it is and how harmful it may or may not be for you. So I want to go through those with you. So again, xenoestrogens are chemicals that have estrogen-like impact. That's the type of xenoestrogens that I'm going to talk about today. And so the healthy habit that may be wreaking havoc on your health is actually just you trying to get in your water. Sylvia said that she was told to drink 3 gallons a day per my weight. Sylvia, that might be a little bit excessive. I probably wouldn't go beyond a gallon, regardless of your weight. There is a thing called water toxicity where you take in too much water. So I don't know if you guys have heard of BPA, bisphenol A. So a lot of the reusable plastics say BPA free, which is great because that is a xenoestrogen. But understand something like this that you may still be drinking out of potentially may have some harmful chemicals in it. And I want you to be aware of that. Sylvia said, teach. All right. Thank you for the encouragement because that's what I love to do. I love to teach. That's why I do this. So I want you to be aware of these plastic bottles. Now, I got this from my husband. Okay. This is not my plastic water bottle. And so when we're at home, I try to encourage everyone to have a stainless steel or a glass water bottle. Okay. Shout out to my friend Dr. Tamika, who got this personalized with my name on it. Isn't that nice? I think that was a birthday gift. So you should be drinking out of plastic. I'm sorry, not drinking out of plastic, but out of stainless steel or glass. But you're going to be exposed to plastics and BPA or the other bisphenols in so many different areas. I want you to be aware of some of the chemical exposures that you may be coming across in your journey just to try to be healthy. So one of the biggest ones is plastic water bottles. So I'm going to share with you what the different plastics are, and I want you to start paying attention to that as you go through your day. So when you look at that little triangle on the plastic, there's a number in the middle of it. And the number on this one is number 1. And you can see this number 1 right here. It's a caution. It's in yellow. This is something that you need to be cautious about. And this is found in like reusable water bottles. Why do you need to take caution here? Is because these can leach out chemicals, especially when they get warm. The chemicals can leach out into the water. So the thing that you're doing, healthy habit, trying to get your water in, if you're using these bottles, you may be taking in chemicals that you don't really want to be taking in. One of the other chemicals that can be converted from the leaching off this plastic is something called a phthalate. And you guys may have heard of that. That's another xenoestrogen. What's wrong with xenoestrogens? Well, they act like estrogens, but they're much stronger. So they can put you in an estrogen dominant state. Estrogen dominance is a fat storing state. Estrogen dominance can also increase your risk of certain cancers. So you want to avoid these number ones. Now they say use them one time and you should be okay. And you see on my list it says caution, but I want you to take it a step further and say, how can you eliminate these from your life completely if you can? Like if you're drinking out of these all the time, I need you to do something different than this. Okay. I need you to do something different than this. So you want to get a glass bottle, a stainless steel bottle. Even if you're worried about the water quality at your house, get some kind of water filter. Get a water filter, whether it's a little Brita on the counter, whether it's a Berkey filter, it's a nice stainless steel that you pour water in a few gallons at a time. There's also a whole water systems that you can get for your entire household. So this is plastic number one. This is a caution. And so I want you to know that you might be doing the healthiest habit in the world, drinking more water. But if you're drinking out of this, you're potentially exposing yourself to more chemicals. Now, there are 7 of these. Number 2 type, so if you look on a milk jug, for example, the little triangle and the number inside of it will say a 2. That's considered a safer one because it's a more sturdy plastic and it doesn't break down as easily. Now there's a number 3 called PVC, and you guys probably have heard of PVC pipes, but sometimes that PVC can be on clear food wrap and other plastics other than just pipes. Shower curtains can have this. This one is a red, avoid. So you want to avoid exposure to that red PVC. Again, what I'm telling you is when you look on your plastics, there's a little triangle, and that triangle has a number. And look at that number and understand what you may be being exposed to when you're drinking out of plastic. So again, you may be participating in a healthy habit like drinking water or having meals prep, but if you're doing it out of plastic, I need you to take caution there. Now there's a number 4. There are 7 of these. Number 4 is considered a safer version. It's a bread wrapping or squeezable bottles. So those are considered a little bit safer as far as the plastics are concerned. Number 5 is also considered a little bit safer. These are like those little yogurt containers. Disposable diapers are made out of this plastic. Now, what's crazy about plastics, there's so much exposure to it in our environment. They even find like neonatal babies have high plastic exposure and different things like that. So we want to be cautious about that. And another thing I want to say, just in general about plastics, even these ones that are considered safer, you need to be careful about heating the plastic. So you don't want to be microwaving plastic because that also will leach out the chemicals. Again, you want to be using glass dishes, things like that versus plastic, even when it comes to your microwave. And if you want to take it a step further, so I'm going to give you the baby step idea, and then I'm going to give you a step to take it further. If you want to take it further as far as reducing exposure to plastics, you would actually, in most cases, eliminate the microwave completely. The microwave is zapping your food, it's taking away the nutrients from it, and anything plastic in there, it's going to be potentially introducing that chemical to your food. So I actually threw away my microwave at home years ago. My kids, my daughter's 17, she went to her friend's house a year or two ago. She doesn't even really know how to use a microwave. So they haven't really had exposure to it. Now I have one at the office. I haven't gotten them completely off of it there, but we don't have a microwave at our house anymore. This has been for years. And my son is almost 12. He's helping me here, holding up my camera over here. But I don't even know if he knows how to use a microwave or if he has much experience with it at all. He's shaking his head. He doesn't even know anything about a microwave. What we use is a toaster oven. So all you need is just a little bit more patience and you can use a toaster oven or something like that. So if you want to take it a step further, I would encourage you to do that. So again, that number 5 plastic is a little bit safer The number six plastic is styrofoam. You know, those old white styrofoam cups that people used to chew on and things like that. Or maybe in your neighborhood, if you had a little lady that sold frozen Kool-Aid in the cup or something like that, you peel it down. You know, sometimes in certain neighborhoods you had to make do because maybe the ice cream man wasn't coming to your neighborhood. Anybody know what I'm talking about? But it was in those styrofoam cups. Also, some of the egg cartons are made out of this type of styrofoam. This is one that you want to try to avoid. And you'll notice that in some instances, those styrofoam egg cartons have been replaced with paper. And then seven is everything else. And that's some sports bottles, some baby bottles. So it's really important for you to take a look at the plastics and the things that you may be drinking out of. Again, there's a little triangle near the bottom, there's a number in the middle. Find out what it is. And again, these everyday water bottles are number one, should be used with caution. They should not be heated. So again, these are everyday practices that you may be participating in, trying to get healthy, but may actually be wreaking havoc. So what you want to do is try to get rid of as many plastics as you can out of your household. And so the first step in doing that is the containers that you're drinking your water out of. Try to eliminate plastic, even if it says BPA free. BPA is bisphenol A. There are other bisphenols that still may be in that plastic. They just haven't been given the same attention as BPA. So you want to try to get rid of the plastics completely. Again, you want stainless steel or you want glass bottles. You want to get away from that plastic. Don't heat your plastic. Don't microwave your plastic. All of that is potentially harmful and leaching out chemicals. We learned a new word today called xenoestrogens. These plastics can act like estrogen in your body, and it can do it in men and women, and it can be potentially harmful because it can mimic estrogen, but in a stronger way, put you in estrogen dominance, put you in a fat storing state, maybe put you in a state of increased risk of cancer. So it's super, super important that you get these plastics out of your diet, out of your environment. So start with what you're drinking out of, and then think about the containers that you're carrying your food in. And this is something that I've done recently as well, is moving over to glass portable dishes as well. So there's things that you can do to upgrade that to reduce your exposure. If you found this to be helpful, give me a thumbs up or a heart. Share this with someone who might need to know this. This may seem like a simple thing, and even our FDA says that, well, BPAs are okay, you know, at a certain level in the bloodstream. And the way that they study it, oftentimes it's very isolated. But if you think about it, we're getting a little bit from so many different places that we're likely getting higher exposure than even what they're potentially quoting, you know, in the studies and things like that. So, and here's another interesting one about bisphenol and these different chemicals. They're on a lot of our receipts. So the receipts that you get from your transactions, they have a lot of them still have BPA on them. And I remember the first time I took a course and found out that the receipts had BPA, I was like, no more receipts for me. This was way pre-COVID. I'm like, I don't need a receipt. I don't want to touch it. So sometimes when you learn about all of the toxins in the environment, it can start to freak you out a little bit. I don't want you to freak out. I just want you to be prepared. So the receipts have toxins in it. So again, if you don't need those, don't take those. Get the digital one so you can quit exposing yourself every time you go into your wallet. Another place where you're exposed to this bisphenol, again, they've taken it out of some plastics, but the inner lining of canned foods is BPA as well, unless they have specifically said BPA free. So a lot of our containers are still aluminum cans, the lining inside, a lot of those still have bisphenol A. So understand we're not completely free of that. There's some things you can do to be more conscious about it. And so I hope that you found this helpful. Hope you all have a fantastic day. I will see you next week for your word on wellness. Remember, get rid of these plastic bottles, okay? Get rid of these plastic bottles. You're trying to do something good for your health, but drinking out of those plastic bottles, your water, is not the way to go. All right. Have a great day.